It's Luke and Naomi.
Welcome into Two White People Talking About Friday.
That's right.
It's Luke and Naomi, episode 112. And yeah, we got a review of Friday coming up because we recorded on 420. So what better movie?
It seemed fitting, yeah.
Yeah, I think you've seen all of the other classic stoner movies, right?
I think so, yeah.
Cheech and Chong and
Yes.
then Half Baked, and I'm probably
Yeah.
forgetting several and all.
Well,
of that.
yeah, there's a bunch of them.
What's the surfer guy, Spicoli, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Have you seen that one?
No.
That is actually on the list. Now that I say it out loud, I know it's on the list. But anyway, Friday review coming up. This ought to be interesting because I caught a couple of different emotions off of Naomi as we were going through Friday, and I cannot wait for Naomi's take on Pops. I don't know, Julius, whatever you want to call him. It's Pops.
In my notes, I put Pops.
Yeah,
It's Pops
so
the entire time.
He's Pops. I mean, and we know him as Pops from like the Wayans brothers and things like that. So I am looking forward to that. That'll be in just a little bit. Naomi's Under a Rock review.
That's right.
Of Friday. I'm Luke Austin. That's Naomi Lynn. I've seen a ton of movies. Naomi is working on it. So if you've seen Friday, relive your first watch through Naomi's eyes. If you've never seen it either, should you?
I'll let you know.
Also, a weird place to be if you've never seen the movie. Yeah.
But that's fine.
So,
you know.
Happy you're here.
It's okay. I can spoil it for you, and then you can still find out if you want to watch it or not.
We love weirdos. That's definitely a thing around here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. We're both a little weird.
Speaking of being a little weird, I had one of the coolest surprises for my birthday ever. Naomi hid Easter eggs for me.
That's right.
As a grown-ass adult, and it was just absolutely wonderful. And so much so that Naomi managed to capture my joy of the hunt.
You really were having such a good time. Like, I was so nervous when I decided to do this. I'm like, this is weird. This is really weird. Like, what if Luke is just like, this is stupid. What are you doing?
It was
Why
awesome.
did you decide to do this?
Didn't see it coming at all.
No, but my favorite thing was, you know, it just setting everything up and then being like, hey, there's something under the TV. What is under there? You know, and then when you notice that there was an egg under there, you just like, you looked so excited. It was awesome.
So you can see the video for yourself on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. We're working on getting it up on the TikTok.
That's right.
I don't know if Naomi has the login for it. So
Oh, I got to get on that stuff, don't I?
check that out right now as you're listening. That's up,
right.
That's up there.
Pause for a second. Watch that video. You know, get into the Easter spirit and all of that.
We
I
had
guess.
a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. It seemed like you had a lot of fun hiding. And,
I did.
you know, being the hider while I was searching.
Yeah.
So it was definitely fun. Check that out. Also, our Two Truths and a Lie video is live. Can't wait to get some guesses in on that. I think we have one guess so far from Snowman.
All right.
And did I see? Anyway, check that one out. That one is everywhere, including the TikTok.
There you go.
Not that, you know, you got to be everywhere, but we're everywhere you want to be.
We're Visa?
Yes, that's right. We stole that. I couldn't remember, honestly, what that slogan was from.
I'm pretty sure it was Visa.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, too.
Yeah.
Break me off a piece of that football cream.
There you go.
Anyway, Two Truths and a Lies up there. Looking forward to seeing all the guesses. Might have a surprise or two for a winner or two.
Yeah, why not?
A correct guesser or two. Not if you're
Yeah.
my mother, because she knows the answer.
That's not fair, yeah.
I believe all our parents know the correct answers.
I don't know. My parents probably forgot.
Most likely.
Yeah.
We should just send them the video and go guess.
I should.
You really should. Yeah, definitely should, because I know they're not all over the socials and everything like that. But
Yeah.
YouTube, everything's on YouTube, so if you're there, you can check all of that stuff out. Time now, though, for your recurrent dose of Did You Know? We've got some random facts for episode 112. It is episode 112, right? I'm
Yes.
having this weird
you're
panic moment.
correct.
All right, wonderful. Your recurrent dose of Did You Know? Are you ready?
I am.
Did you know meerkats are more likely to kill each other than any other mammals?
That's kind of sad.
And
They look
it's
so cute, you know?
Surprising, too, because humans,
Well,
you know. But
they're small, though.
almost 20% of meerkats are killed by members of the same species.
Interesting.
And then it makes you that I didn't realize, you know, that was a stat that was kept, first of all. Now, oh, yeah, I guess not a lot of other animals really go to war, right?
Yeah. Apparently meerkats do.
Did you know Cher is the record holder for longest amount of time between first and last number one hits?
Did not know that.
Yeah, 1965 with Sonny with I Got You, Babe. And I can't believe, what are you doing, my parents' generation, for making that a number one hit? What the hell?
It was from the 60s. It's fine. It's kind of cute.
It's fine. Your mind's still blown about, what is the other one? You know the other one.
Is it Believe?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
wasn't
what-
actually sure.
Was there another one?
I don't know. I don't listen. Since I've been out of the radio world, a lot of music things have happened that are just shocking to me.
Yeah, but that's
And-
right in your radio wheelhouse, though.
But like,
Believe.
I don't know if she came out with something a year ago. I would have no
God,
idea.
I hope not. No, she didn't. She didn't. I think we're done.
Maybe she's in the works.
I think we're done with Cher at this point. I really
Yeah?
do. Fingers crossed. Did you?
We'll see.
Did you know the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport in Georgia has 2 graves embedded in the runway? The people hit so hard, they just got planted right in. That's terrible.
Stop it.
No. There's 2 more that are next to the runway as well. The land was previously a private family cemetery. So instead of,
I don't like that.
No, really, why? That has nothing to do with flying whatsoever.
Doesn't matter. Just it feels like a tempting fate kind of thing.
The
It
people
just
hit so
doesn't
hard.
feel
They
right.
just
You
planted
stop with that. No. Oh my gosh.
Did you know more nickels were made in 1964 than any other year?
Okay.
People were hoarding them because they mistakenly thought they were made with silver. So because they were being hoarded, the U.S. Mint increased production, and about 3 billion nickels ended up getting made.
Okay.
I don't know if that's whole year 1964 or just throughout a period of time, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of nickels.
It is.
A lot of wrong people, too. And finally, did you know the first ever comic book convention was in New York in 1964? And a little bonus.
A lot of things from the 60s in
Right,
here.
this is a mid-60s themed Did You Know. And a little bonus here. Did you know the very first person to buy a ticket was a 16-year-old guy named George R. Martin?
Really?
Yeah, the author of Game of Thrones.
Interesting.
Or Song of Ice and Fire, however you want to put that.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
It is.
Isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
your recurrent dose of Did You Know Some Random Facts for episode 112.
Wait, is he really that old?
Yeah, I guess so. That's why everybody's like, bro, finish the series, will you please?
Yeah, you're not gonna make it,
There's
man.
like 1 or more books left that have to be done, and all
You might
of
as well
that
just
stuff.
give up at this point.
Yeah,
It's done.
probably should. How about that? Do you have any weird made-up rules that you think we should get rid of?
Probably, but
Just not at the top of your head, right?
No.
So BuzzFeed did a list of weird societal rules. This makes me think of my friend Brendan, who was so against saying God bless you or bless you at all when somebody sneezes. He was like, this is just a nonsense thing we do because people want to, be loud, and then somebody else across the room also wants to holler. So,
sounds about right.
and I'm not even sure if I'm getting his reasoning right, but it's somewhere in that realm. Anyway.
I'm okay with not saying that when people sneeze. Like, I don't do it at the office anymore. When someone sneezes, I know somebody else is going to say bless you, so I don't.
And I know that somebody else is going to also, for the reason I just mentioned, so that they have a chance to break the silence and holler across a room.
Yes.
Because, and it's always the same play. Watch your office. If you've never paid attention to this, just pay attention.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in an office, because...
There's one person who's going to sneeze really loud and obnoxious on purpose.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be another person who yells bless you very loud and obnoxious.
Both equally obnoxious, both unnecessary.
Yes.
And I know this as an obnoxious sneezer. I love being loud, sneezing loud.
You do sneeze loud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So
No
anyway,
wonder it drives me nuts.
that's a kind of a definition of a made-up societal rule because, there's... Anyway. The rest of the list reads very similar. I actually think sneezing might pop up on this. It is. Blessing people when they sneeze. Somebody else was talking about this and said, stop calling attention to them, especially in the middle of meetings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're derailing the whole meeting because you can't quiet up your sneeze a little bit.
Yeah.
But don't hold your sneeze in. And then whoever was talking about this also said, why don't we bless farts? Get on board with that.
That's weird. No, please don't.
Imagine if we treated sneezes like farts, like cut it out. That's rude and disrespectful, and you shouldn't do that. You know, you're not going to do it at the dinner table. Don't do it at work.
But you can't help it when you sneeze.
Sometimes you can't help when you fart.
So don't call.
Touché.
No, absolutely not. You're not proving any point there.
Oh, I love it. Welcome into episode 112. We are absolutely off and running here. That's wonderful. So yeah, you know, the sneezing. That's a big one.
Yeah.
We got placing a napkin on your lap. It's kind of weird. A strange hill to die on, right?
Yeah, it is.
But the argument is, you know, it hits the floor 99 out of 100 times. And whoever wrote it said, my boobs stop all the crumbs anyway. Well, mine do too, so.
I don't think anyone forces you to put that napkin on your lap. And I think that you doing that is to, you know, protect yourself. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
Like, is it that bad to have, you know, a folded napkin on the table while you're eating? Also, it's 2025. We're not paying attention to any crazy etiquette rules anymore. We just went through
we
a
don't do
pandemic.
anything.
Yeah, we're all cooped up inside. Now we're all running around like chimps and you know,
wild animals.
No double texting rules and other ones. People think it's too much to send multiple texts around. I feel like this list is a little old.
It is, because I'm going to send 8 texts in a row if I've got things to keep saying, or I think of something funny that I want to add.
Yeah, and that's like, wait, don't reply yet. Let me get this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if I just send it as one long book, like, you've already replied.
And let me tell you,
now what?
If I'm texting with somebody like that, you know we're friends. Or you know, we're having a good conversation, a fun conversation, or I'm pissed. But, you know, 9 out of 10 times it's because I'm talking to my friends like that. And it's just like, and this. Oh, and that. Oh, and don't forget.
So far, sneezing is the only thing that's been good on this list.
Yeah. So far. How about respecting your elders? We were just bitching at George R.R. Martin, to be fair. But somebody put respect your elders on the list. One person said, some of the nastiest people I've ever met are over 70. Good job. You've survived to be a dinosaur, but respect is earned, not given.
I agree with that one, yeah, actually.
You know, I tend to, but there's a little bit of like the benefit of the doubt, you know, especially if they're an elder. I'll give it to you first, but then like, okay, never mind.
Well, especially out in public. So you don't know this person, you know? This is out in public. This is the guy who isn't able to drive and is trying to catch the bus every day and is slow and has Parkinson's, so he drops his, you know, coins or whatever like
Vivid.
that. Well, I'm painting a picture
You
here.
are, yes.
You know, so of course you're going to be like, oh, I don't need to respect that guy. He holds me up. I'm late for work every day and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, nah, I think that guy you can give some respect to.
So it's got to be that much of a situation for you to...
Well, no. It doesn't have to be that much of a situation.
Sorry, elders. You're out of luck with Naomi Lynn.
Who?
I said elders.
Oh.
You're out of luck with Naomi Lynn.
Yeah, I guess.
You wouldn't last in any fantasy world at all. We have to go to the elders. Naomi would be like, nope, bleep them.
No.
Unless they're trying to catch a bus and have Parkinson's.
That's right. That's where I draw the line.
Then it's cool. Then we'll go to them for wisdom.
No, I just mean, you know, I do get the point that, yes, respect is earned. And I see where, you know, whoever left that comment did mention that because, listen, the people who are throwing the biggest fits that I've seen are older people.
We've all been to
throwing
McDonald's
a
at
huge fit.
9:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Expecting people working in food service to always be happy.
Nobody expects that.
Like the whole, you know, if you're a waitress and servers, well, like, you know, I don't want the grumpiest person dropping my food off at the table and just kind of whipping it on the table. But I get the, you know, the whole thing. Yeah, I get it. This job sucks.
Yeah.
But you also kind of get paid to put on a smiley face while you're there.
Yeah, but that's about it. You can smile and be like, hey, what can I get for you? Okay, this is what I want. All right, I'll have it out for you. Done. You don't need anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like some people expect, you know.
Like the guy from Office Space, you know, some pizza flingers. And
Yeah, all animated. And tell me about your day as well, you know, because I really care. No.
Yeah.
You don't need to go through that.
I bummed a guy out once when we were at the store. I think it was Costco. And the guy said something about, you know, how's your day going? We were like, okay. And he goes, not going to ask how mine is. I was like, well, I don't really care. It's just he caught me at the wrong time. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm not here for a conversation. Just scan my shit and let me get out.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we were. But anyway, that's kind of a jerk I am in public. How about the societal rule of you can't eat in front of your friends unless they are eating too? That used to be kind of a thing. I used to not eat in front of my friends because I don't want them to ask for some.
I think that's different.
This is really airing out some behind the scenes of Luke here.
I know. You're digging yourself like a little grave
That's why
here.
I only have 2 friends.
That's right.
And one of them's Naomi. How about everyone? I'm just moving right along. Everyone thinking it's rude to read a book at a function or event. I think that is kind of rude. Like if you're at an opera or some shit, you're not going to be reading a book. That is rude. If it's a play and an event, but a function, why are you there? I get if you get dragged there, but talk
Maybe
about
if you
the
have
weather with
kids.
somebody. If you're going to read a book or something like that, sit in the car.
Yeah, but if you have kids that are
Like a
playing
recital?
soccer or something,
Or a
yeah,
soccer
you
game?
can't sit in the car.
Let me know when our kid's on the field. This is why we're not parents, by the way.
You want to air out some more dirty laundry there?
Let me know when the kid's on the field. I'll get up off the ground where I was sleeping while the
There
rest
you
of it
go.
was going on. Wow. All right. How about this one? This is the last one. It's crazy. Unacceptable to date a friend's ex.
They're saying get rid of that rule.
They're saying, yeah, just because it didn't work out for them doesn't mean it shouldn't work out for you.
You probably know too much of that relationship and those people going into the circumstances, though.
Yeah, and that's a lot. I don't know. I get that, it shouldn't necessarily be a rule. Fine, don't have it be a rule, but
it's not
not one of my
black or
friends.
white. It's not 100% set in stone, like this rule has to be followed. But I would say tread carefully,
yeah.
because again, you're going to know some major details that you shouldn't know when you're first dating somebody.
That's some Melrose Place nonsense right there. Whoever wrote that's like 15 years old.
Yeah, probably.
Because an adult is like, I don't want to. Ew, no.
Yeah.
That's strange. Anyway, I do have a couple of friends. I just said I have 2
You have
friends. and
2,
one's Naomi.
yes.
I actually
That's
have-
a couple,
I actually
2.
have 2, and both of them have some pretty epic nicknames. Because we have
Yes, they do.
we have Pat Squatch, which is just a wonderful nickname because, camping a lot of times you see a grown man grumping through the woods all hungover and it looks like a Sasquatch. That's where you end up with a name like that. And then Filthy Kyle does not warrant or we're not rated for an explanation there
No.
about that. But, it's a family show.
That's right.
So Filthy Kyle and Pat Squatch are 2 nicknames of 2 of my closest friends.
Yes.
And there have been others. I mentioned my friend Brendan a little while ago. We always called him Bean. That's a nickname he had from childhood.
Okay.
Did you grow up with any kids with nicknames like that?
Wow, put me on the spot here. I don't remember my childhood.
This was a joyous time. Huh?
I'm really drawing a blank.
So I asked because a writer for the Wall Street Journal says he thinks that nicknames are going extinct. He has a shit ton of kids. He has 4 kids.
Okay.
5 kids, sorry, ages 6 to 18. He says none of the 5 have been given a nickname by their friends, and none of their friends seem to have a nickname either. It's weird. And I feel like this is another situation where you're watching Austin Powers, where this is only for 18-year-old boys.
Well, with nicknames?
Yeah, with the nicknames. Do girls do the nicknames fly Fast and Furious with the ladies? You know what I mean? Like guys are. Like guys have,
I don't think so. I really don't, because I'm trying to think, as you brought this up, I'm like, who do I know? And I know their nicknames. And it's like, okay, I can recall a couple of friends with nicknames, but it was like my family gave me that nickname. It wasn't
Sure,
something.
that still kind of counts.
But I mean, Sarah Sprudy, who there's no way she's listening to this, but if you are by any chance, I'm sorry, Sarah, I'm going to mention this.
Tag her.
I should. I believe it was her dad. Maybe it's her whole family. I don't remember the full story. I think we were in 6th grade. But it was Spud.
Okay.
And everybody else I know,
It seems like a nickname that would come from that last name that he had and passed down to her. Or did he give her the nickname?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Sprudy, Spud.
That's a
It
great.
fits.
It's a
But-
great example.
But that's not like a friendship nickname. I'm not going to call her Spud.
No, but that's
weird.
okay. Nicknames altogether, this guy says, are still disappearing. If you look at it, you don't get a lot of, we knew a Wheeler called him Wheels.
Yeah.
But that was only because I started calling him that in the middle of his adult life. and it was a radio thing.
Wait, our friend Timothy.
Yes, most nicknames we know were bestowed upon us after, an adult beverage
It
or two
is.
bestowed to them by us.
After drinking.
Yes.
So they're not going away. They're just changing.
But like people there's not a lot of juniors anymore. You don't call your buddy from Dallas Tex.
No.
You don't call anybody Hollywood anymore or things like that,
So let's bring it back. And again, we've already got a head start because once we get a little buzz on, then everybody's got nicknames. So what we need to do is just get a list of people together. And then the next time we're drinking, we'll just get nicknames for everybody.
We'll start nicknaming everybody. That's right.
I like it.
The guy says even initials are starting to be less common where you call guys like AJ. Now we know JD from JD and the Badlands Band.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of an exception that proves the rule. Where are the initials people are even going to... I remember in the 90s realizing that with sports because you had guys like Mean Joe Green and, I'm of course going to blank on every great nickname now, but like, the Iron Horse was a great one. And anyway, then you got into the 90s and people started with the initials. You had, Michael Jordan was MJ forever.
Yeah.
And then there's just everybody kind of went to initials. Kevin Garnett, I remember, was KG forever, and things like that. But even that, this guy says he thinks is starting to go away.
Again, the younger generation may be making it go away, but we will bring it back.
We absolutely will. The youngest kid, this guy says his youngest has a friend named William, and none of them, nope, he does not go by Billy. He doesn't go by Will. He doesn't even go by Billiam.
What the heck?
Pretty crazy, right? Nicknames are never going to fully go away, but a lot of them are. Even your radio hosts don't go by the crazy nicknames anymore.
No.
But the guy in the article continued. He was talking about this, and he says it could be a little bit about offending people because years ago you called big fat guys tiny.
Yeah.
And now you're not really going to do that. We used to do that to our friends and point out some sort of foible. And things like now we're a little less mean to our friends.
Well, maybe we
Isn't
need
that
to
right?
be mean.
Filthy Kyle.
Yeah.
And Pat Squatch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. Just some weird stuff with the nicknames.
I'm not kidding. Like, that's my goal. I'm going to get a little buzz on and write down as many people as I know and just give everybody nicknames.
I always wanted a nickname, but you can't give yourself a nickname.
You can't.
I learned that the hard way. I don't know if there's necessarily a hard way, but I learned that when I was talking about wanting a nickname, and all my friends were like, you can't give yourself a nickname,
Yeah.
and we're not giving you one now because you want one.
Yeah.
That was basically...
So you're screwed.
That was basically where I ended up with all of that. So nicknames are dying out on us. Let's get them back. Bring them back. Naomi and I on a mission.
That's right.
We have a couple.
Yeah.
We got a couple out there. All right. Last week we asked you to replace a word in a movie title with the word undies.
I love it.
And we had some fun with this one. I normally forget Brian's answer, so I want to start off with Brian from England's answers before I do forget. So he wrote to us, and he said the Fellowship of the Undies.
Perfect.
That's too close to the Divine Sisterhood of the Yaya Traveling Pants.
Traveling undies.
Is that one movie, or did I just mix two in there?
I don't know.
That's
You're
awesome.
the one that knows the movies.
Under a rock. The Fellowship of the Undies, The Two Undies, and Return of the Undies. There is a film, he says, called Skid Marks. Skid Undies. I don't think you had to change that one.
No, you didn't
be
really
honest
have
with you.
to.
He says, I'm sorry, I'm such a child. Well, welcome in, Brian, because, children...
That's what we like about
I would
you.
say misery loves company, but who's miserable here? Maybe my
No.
dad, if he's listening at this point.
Because we're talking about undies.
Yes, and Brian says his mom joined in as well.
Oh.
So we,
Okay.
and this is, I love this one. She says the classic Clint Eastwood film, Dirty Undies.
Oh my gosh.
How about Magnificent Undies as well?
Perfect.
Excellent answers.
Yes.
From across the pond there. Love it from those guys. And then all of the fun we had on our Facebook page is, wow, I'm scrolling and I can't get to the top of this one.
Oh no.
Where the heck did we go here?
It's because there's quite a few. We
There
had some great answers.
is quite a few. Oh no, Facebook done reset on me, so now I gotta...
Oh, so now it's telling you what's most relevant instead of all the comments and all of that.
Yeah, all of that. So did you have any answers?
I have a couple. I have a couple from our Facebook page.
All right.
I really like this one from Paul Miller, Indiana Jones and the Undies of Doom.
That's so, and I hate to say this because, no pun intended, but that's very on the nose, Paul.
It is. It is.
Very, very much.
How about Mike with Superman 4, The Quest for Undies?
The Quest for Undies. Nicely
Yes.
done, Mike. I've got the list up now. I was asking if you had any.
No, I let everyone do all the thinking for me.
Oh, all right.
I didn't have to do anything.
J9 says Charlie and the Undies Factory. I don't like that.
That's creepy and wrong
yeah.
in so many ways.
Cindy says Raiders of the Lost Undies. A lot of Indiana Jones fans out there love it. Trudy says Rocky Horror Undies Show.
Which that one's great because it doesn't really change the movie at all.
It really does not.
No.
It actually is a better title.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
It improves on it.
Dorsey says Undies has fallen. That's absolutely perfect. You just read Paul and Mike's. Fantastic Undies and where to find them.
I love that.
That's a great one. And Adam's Family Undies.
Perfect.
Family underpants. Is that like hand-me-downs or everybody just takes turns?
No. All of that's wrong in
I
so
saw
many
it
ways.
in your eyes that you didn't that you wanted to move by that one. And so I just doubled right down on that.
Yeah.
Really, really good answers. I don't think I'm missing any now. Have you chosen your listener of the week?
I have.
I don't get a vote on this, so I just want to qualify that
Why?
because I don't know what your vote is. So I just.
It's a good one.
All right. What's your answer?
Okay, so want to give a big congratulations to Dorsey for fantastic undies and where to find them.
Excellent answer.
I think it's phenomenal.
Dorsey had a bunch of good answers too. So
He did.
That's
He
fitting.
did.
That's fitting. I like that. I have to shout out Brian's mom.
I mean, that was phenomenal too. Don't get me wrong. It really was. But I mean,
Brian's mum, by the way.
Yeah.
It's
Make sure you
they're
say it
English.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian's mum.
but yeah, congratulations, Dorsey. You are our listener of the week.
Well done, sir.
Yes.
Well done. All right. For next week, since we were talking about the death of nicknames and the resurrection.
That's right. The resurrection of the nicknames.
Of such. We want to know, what are the best nicknames that you grew up around? Because chances are you had some good ones in your schools, in your families, friends, college, whatever it was.
Bonus points if you were the one to give the person that nickname.
Absolute bonus points.
Yes.
Because I've always been a hander-outer of nicknames because I always wanted a nickname.
Yes.
So definite bonus point. And especially if it stuck and kept going. Like there's a guy on the radio in central New York that has now transitioned to call himself Wheels from Dave because of me.
Yeah.
And I'm claiming it. I don't care.
You can have those bragging rights. That's fine.
That's right. So I'm responsible for a couple of nicknames. Not sure if I'm responsible for Filthy. I'm pretty sure that goes to a cousin or a couple of friends of mine. Definitely Pat Squatch. I'm taking that one.
That's fine.
And I know I've pulled a couple of others. So I'll do some research. Let us know. What are the craziest nicknames, funniest, best, your favorite nicknames? If you had one, even better. Facebook or wherever you're listening. Facebook, Luke and Naomi on air. YouTube, if you're watching, looking at the video or listening right now, you can drop your comments right there. Can't wait to read these. You can send them right to the website too.
That's right. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to hearing the stories behind it, especially if someone's got a nickname like Macaroni or something like that. Like, there's got to be a good story behind it.
Oh.
Even if the story is there's not a good story behind it.
I grew up with two different kids who were named Pickles.
Yeah.
Different years in school.
Like their last name?
No. That was their nickname.
Oh, okay.
Ended up being nicknamed Pickles. Yeah.
It's a lot of food. Food nicknames happen a
Food
lot.
becomes a thing.
Yeah.
For sure. Come with them. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. We'll read our favorite ones, of course, just like we always do next episode. And
That's it.
that's it.
That's it.
Are you ready to get to it? I lost the button. I was just kind of trying to stop.
Aw, come on.
Found it. Ready to go. You ready to go?
Yep.
Let's do it. Fitting, very exciting, heavy intro for Friday.
Yeah.
1995 Friday. I'm really looking forward to our post-review questions almost as much as I'm looking forward to the review. So let's get to it. I can't wait. Tell us about Friday.
So first of all, this is definitely less notes than I've had in quite a while.
It was.
But that's okay.
It's such a complex movie. It was tough to keep track of everything that was going on.
Exactly.
All right.
So
Yeah,
I
understand.
lost track and just kind of went with it. All right, so right off the bat, the music makes me know that we're in a 90s movie here.
What was it? Do you remember?
No, but it
was that...
the beats and all of that.
It sounded like 1995 for sure.
Yes, it did. We see around Ice Cube's house. Definitely has some similarities. It honestly reminds me of like the house I grew up in. You know, a big giant plastic bowl for way too much cereal. They've got pictures all around the house. You know, it sets the scene pretty well at the start.
Yeah, your typical house.
Yeah. We find out that Ice Cube got fired on his day off yesterday.
Love that.
We find this out as Pops is in the bathroom and calls Ice Cube, a.k.a. Craig, in. Like, he's going to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
Gross.
I smelled your shit for 24 years. You can stand in here for 5 minutes.
Not only that, but he makes Craig shut the door.
Yeah, I know,
He's
shut
like
the door,
locked
too, like-
in with the smell and everything. It's a horrible scene. I
Oh.
cannot stand that.
Pops.
So Craig's big task is to find a job. He's, got to work. Rent's going to be due on the 1st of the month, and he's got to help out the family. And I thought that's where this story was going to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Craig's gotta find
honestly...
himself a job, right?
Yeah, he was going to end up, getting stoned and coming up with a genius way to make money, and he was going to make money and save the day. Nothing has to deal with the job that was his task
Well, he
for the
saved
day. Barely. On top of that, though, the task for the day was find a
Barely.
job. And he didn't do that.
Already we're on the cynical side from Naomi. Barely. All right, let's go.
Hang on, I will get there when we get to the end of the movie.
Jesus. All right.
All right, so Craig's friend Smokey, a.k.a. Chris Tucker. I do like Chris Tucker. He's just insane. He's
Pretty good,
absolutely
right?
insane.
Is
Yeah.
this now your second Chris Tucker movie? Have you seen him, aside from Rush Hour and this?
And Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I'm sure there's a couple of other things that I just never
Con
really
Air.
thought about. He's in Con Air.
Yes.
I don't
Right?
remember. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't remember. Anyway, so Smokey stops over, says that they're going to get high because Craig doesn't have a job and it's Friday and he has nothing better to do. Apparently, Craig doesn't smoke pot.
You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. All right.
I figured you'd
Fill in the blanks for you?
Yeah, you'd want to lay
You
down
were just
those
gonna
lines.
gloss right over it, weren't you?
Yes. Like half this movie, okay? Half this movie I glossed over.
All right. Well, that's why I'm here.
So the two of them, they run to the store, walk around a bit, basically not doing much except Smokey is smoking.
That's right.
Yeah. We get this smoking montage, music playing, Smokey's getting high. The two of them are just kind of hanging out. Although Craig isn't looking for a job or doing anything, so...
Ice Cube is really good at just sitting there.
He is. I mean...
He makes it look like there's just nothing going on.
But you need to find a job.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was the whole point of this movie. You
Right.
got fired and you need to find a job.
You thought.
I thought, and I was wrong. So they're still up to no good. Deebo. I put tough cookie.
Tough
I
cookie.
don't really know how to describe Deebo.
Neighborhood bully. Anything else. Tough cookie. It's like, oh my God.
I got a contact high through the TV. Oh, cookies. Yeah. Okay.
Tough cookie.
I really did put tough cookie.
Once again, refer to the episode title, Two White Folk Talking About Friday.
Yeah, that basically sums it up.
Jesus.
I'm also 75.
Yeah.
He's one tough cookie over there.
Break out the crochetery. I don't know what to call it.
That was a nice try.
Yeah.
He shows up to Craig's house. He's looking for money, gold, anything that he can take from him or Smokey, which, like, what the heck, man?
You can tell that's routine, too, that he does this. And as soon as they see him coming, you got to ditch your stuff. That's just how it is.
Why?
Because it's the street.
Fight back.
It's Deebo. You watch the first scene of the movie. He punches a guy across the street.
Yeah, well, that was one
He was
guy.
in the air.
You get 8 people together, you know.
The father
you'd be
comes
fine.
out and Deebo's like, what?
Yeah. So Craig's neighbor leaves, and Deebo and Smoke break into the house of the neighbor. Smokey doesn't really want to, but he doesn't really have a choice. Craig ends up keeping watch, but he doesn't want to be involved in any of this crap either. He ends up watching another neighbor get caught fooling around.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Whatever.
Yeah, some lady that's always
Parker?
wearing like small
Is it Parker?
shorts, and her chest is always hanging out and all
Yeah.
of that kind of stuff.
Mrs. Parker. By the way, Mr. Parker is Tony Cox, and we saw him earlier in the day. We watched Me, Myself, and Irene just put
That's
it
right.
on, and he's the limo driver in there, and he's Mr. Parker in Friday. So,
Yes.
like, 2 Tony Cox movies in one day. Hilarious.
So wasn't it Bernie Mac that she was messing around with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
'cause he's like a
then-
reverend or, preacher or some nonsense going
Yeah.
around, and, where's your mom at?
And then the husband comes home, and, the whole ordeal and all of that.
He treated me like a dumb shit.
Wrong movie. There's not really anything going on in this movie.
At all.
It's like a regular day around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It's just Friday.
Yeah, but it...
Do you not get it?
No, I mean, I get it. It's just a day, whatever, and you're following along this whole day.
Craig
but
ain't got
it
shit
just
to do, and it's Friday. That's the movie.
yeah. But so I left out a bunch of stuff because I'm not going to mention the crackhead that's always asking to clean the windows for $2 that they met at the corner store that acted like he slipped and fell and was saying that he was going to sue for $150,000 and was like, "Nah, I'll settle up right now for $20."
Didn't
Like
he say something about some garbage bags or something?
Envelopes.
Like that? Envelopes, yeah. Like, what the hell? That's
he just
great.
wanted something,
Let's give me some, Yeah.
So anyways, we're at the point where Craig finally decides, all right, I got nothing going on. So he hits the joint and he gets high. And at one point, he runs in the house all of a sudden, then comes out, stands there for a second, is like, "Did you hear my phone ring?"
That's pretty good.
Yes, typical stoner behavior. Was entertained by that, not gonna lie. Like, because he gets up so fast, I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I know. What did you forget?
Did my phone just ring? Yeah.
I forgot about that. I was confused during that part last night. I was like, wait, oh yeah, that's why. Okay.
Yep. Anyway, they're hanging out, and Big Worm, the guy Smokey got his bud from,
Phase on love.
he's supposed to be selling this, not smoking it. He shows up and is like, "I need my money by 10 o'clock. But Smokey told Big Worm that Craig actually smoked too, so now Craig is involved in everything.
That's right.
So now they both have to make some money, or they're going to end up dead.
That's how it goes down in the neighborhood.
There's actually a scene coming up, a scene right here, actually, that I really like. So Smokey tells Craig that he's going to tell Big Worm that it's all his fault, which, I mean, it is, He's going to say that Craig didn't smoke, didn't have anything to do with the fact that, the pot's all gone, all of that. Smokey doesn't have any money. Anyway, Craig goes into the house and grabs his gun just as Pops walks into his room. And Pops basically asking him, like, "What do you need a gun for?" And
right.
Craig's like, "For protection." And then Pops goes into this little monologue about, you're supposed to fight. Everybody's so quick to pull out of a gun. You're supposed to fight. You fight. You beat each other up. You win some, you lose some. But at the end of the day, you go home.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, it's not they do it really well. They do this scene really well because it is very serious, but they don't
force the heavy on you.
yes,
Yeah.
they just smushed it right in there where you're like, "Oh man, I learned a lesson in the middle of this."
And I mean, it was a big deal around the time the movie was made too, with everything going on in LA and all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like that was, they had to kind of, and they do it well. Pops is great at that stuff.
Yeah.
And getting serious, but being the most ridiculous human being, ridiculous character in a whole movie, and then being just as serious as you need him to. And it's super. John Witherspoon, man, he's the best.
It was just great. So now we're at the point, it's been like 20 minutes movie time, a couple hours their time, but they have done nothing productive to get the money. Smokey tried to steal the money from Deebo while he was sleeping, but was unsuccessful. Not going into all the details of that thievery.
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I blocked that part of that movie out.
Yeah. And now, I don't know, they have like an hour to figure everything out. And they don't. They don't figure it out. What the heck?
That's right.
Like,
Well, kind of.
you had all day. All day. You had more than a day, but you had all day to figure this out. Nothing.
You would fit right in with, like, Nia Long's character Debbie in this movie. Very much.
I would. I really would. I'd be like, you guys are dumb. This is on you.
Yeah, you'd be one of the ones hanging out with Debbie and Dana.
So they don't figure it out, and these guys come by shooting at them. So Craig and Smokey take off, and they hide in the back of a truck. You know, there's a whole bunch of commotion. Everyone comes out of their houses to see what's going on. Everyone starts asking, where's Craig and Smokey? Nobody knows where they are. And then a neighbor confronts Deebo because, well, he's a scumbag and was beating on her sister.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Debbie was confronting Deebo.
Yeah.
About.
I don't mention Debbie at all in this movie until the last line
Yeah.
of the notes,
Yeah,
which
that's
we're
all right.
almost there anyways, because
She's in it.
again, yeah.
That's Nia Long. She was Lisa in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's who I know her as. Although she's been in a bajillion things, too. So
But that's where you know her most from.
that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, she confronts Deebo because he beat on her sister. Sister had like a black eye and everything. Smokey and Craig come
Felicia,
out.
by the way. Bye, Felicia.
Yep. Smokey and Craig come out, and Craig confronts Deebo. They decide to fight it out, but Craig pulls out the gun. And, of course, Pops is like, come on, man, put the gun down, all that. Deebo keeps talking crap, which seems really dumb to do while someone has a gun in your face.
Well, sure.
Like, I just don't.
But as Deebo.
I don't get the draw. At that point, like, you know what? I'm going to just shut my mouth.
Yeah, you would. You're not Deebo.
I want to live, He
lived.
So they end up fighting, like punching, kicking each other. They get into a fist fight here. Deebo is winning, though. I mean, he's bigger, all of that. Craig's on the ground. He's not moving. Everyone is just kind of watching, telling him to get up, Come on, Craig, get up. Come on, you can beat him, all this stuff. I mean, the entire neighborhood is out. Like, you guys just gang up on him.
Gang up on Deebo?
Aren't you tired of his crap?
Well, that's not how it works.
No, everybody throw a couple punches and kicks. We can get this taken care of in like 10 minutes. Get him down to the ground. Done. Anyway, so Craig's on the ground, not moving really. Everybody's kind of like, come on, Craig, get up. All of that. Finally gets up and he throws a brick at Deebo because that's how you win a fight. And then, of course, he's able to beat him up. He wins the fight, and he wins the girl I never mentioned, Debbie. Yay! The end.
Also, Chris Tucker takes Deebo's money, and that's how they pay off Big Worm.
Listen, that became not a priority in the movie.
Problem
so
solved.
at the end, wasn't a priority.
You got knocked the bleep out.
That's right. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. That's the fastest review I think we've done. Except for
yes.
maybe Hocus Pocus, which Naomi absolutely hated. So check that one out. But that's it then. That's Friday.
That's Friday.
That's Friday. I love it. All right. Well, let's see here. As we usually do, we start off by asking, did you like it?
It was all right. I mean, it really was a stupid movie. Like, nothing is going on. It's got its moments that are kind of funny, It's got some really, like, just overly top, stupid, gross moments. But that's all right.
It does in every stupid movie.
Yes. Every stupid movie has to cross the line somewhere. And some idiot somewhere is laughing real hard about underwears being dropped in someone's face.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yep.
Cringe level, 1 out of 10.
For items like undies being dropped in the face and all of that kind of stuff, cringe level, I would get it. I don't know, maybe a 3.7, 4.2, somewhere around there.
All right. I really thought you were going to go higher. Well, wonderful. All right.
No, it wasn't really cringy. It was just stoner stupid, you
Were
know?
you happy with the name of the title in the movie?
No, because it's just too easy, and it's like the first like 3 words that are
So
said.
yeah, it's just not placed correctly, right?
Yeah, but I do want to mention something that I just realized that I didn't put in my notes. It was a great thing that I watched this movie, though, because now I get the meme of Ice Cube and Chris Tucker sitting there going, damn! Like,
Right on.
now I get that.
Very wonderful.
I had no
You know,
idea what that was from,
Also,
honestly.
bye Felicia.
Yeah, but
There's a lot.
I feel like that's just,
There's a couple of things in this. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. That's from Friday. It's been a minute since I've seen Friday as well, so it was great taking that trip down memory lane. What did you know about Friday going in?
that it was going to be a stoner movie.
Okay. Do you think it is a stoner movie or is it just a movie?
No, it's definitely a stoner movie.
It is. Okay.
Like, if you are someone who partakes, you're going to enjoy this movie. It's going to be a lot funnier.
Yeah, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
What did you know about? I just want to ask you, right? Thoughts going in?
Not a whole lot. I just kind of assumed, okay, this is going to be kind of a fun, silly, easy watch, and it was.
All right.
So.
What surprised you?
I don't really think there's anything that was really surprising in that movie.
Nothing was no twists, no turns, nothing.
No, nothing happened in the movie. Maybe
there-
that's the surprising part.
There you
Nothing
go.
happens.
That's a surprise. Would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger, high school?
High school? Oh, yeah, then I'd love it more. Come on,
Probably.
let's be honest
yeah,
here.
I mean, is the movie not for high school kids? Right.
Yes.
Favorite part?
Favorite part. I don't know. I enjoyed all the scenes with Chris Tucker. I don't know. I just really like him. He's so animated.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah,
You know?
well, I mean that's he got rich and famous off of being that character. So
Yeah, and like just the crap that he would say, and he was always backpedaling. He'll say something, and he's like, "No, man, I'm with you.
yeah,
No, it's cool." Okay.
great. All right. Least favorite part? I think we already know.
Undies.
Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Depends on who you are.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah,
So
I think
if Naomi recommends Friday to you, she probably doesn't think the highest of it.
that's terrible. No, I just mean like if I think you're gonna like something with no storyline. Like if okay, that does sound like I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, that does
yeah.
sound really bad. No, I mean, well, maybe like it's a movie to watch, like if you're drunk and not paying attention to things, or again for those who partake.
If
I
you're
might
gonna
be
get
like,
super baked, you
hey,
can watch Friday. Yeah.
watch that. You might enjoy it.
All right. Let's see. I don't know that I watch it again. I was just not going to ask, but watch it again.
Nah, probably not.
Are you here for Friday or the Friday after next?
No, because it's gonna be the
Next Friday.
same
Next
thing.
Friday and Friday after next. I do believe they developed a slightly more, I don't know.
Storyline.
Yeah, a slightly more meaty storyline, but not very much more.
Yeah, I don't think I could. I don't even think I could risk it.
You
I
gotta
don't
meet-
even think I could give it the chance.
You got to meet Day Day, though, because that's a great character.
Is that the second one or the third movie?
Second and third. Yeah, he's in the second for sure.
I'll just look up clips. It's fine.
Are you happy you watched it?
I am. I am happy I watched it.
Finally, in one of the new questions, does it hold up?
I mean, I guess there wasn't much for it to not hold up. You know,
Right.
There's no storyline. There's nothing there.
So, but like this could happen anywhere at any time. It's not like this is just.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, pretty sure it is. As she points
Yeah.
down the street from our house. All right, that's all of the review questions
I'm not happening anywhere.
that we got for Friday. I love watching Friday again. It has
Yeah?
been a long time since I watched Friday, so that was fun.
like
but
we
yeah,
talked-
there is not a lot to that movie at all.
Well, like what we talked about before, too. Like, if you watch one of those stupid movies when you're younger and you get connected to it right away, you're more likely to like it. Like Me, Myself,
Yeah,
and
for
Irene.
sure.
I like that movie. But because I saw it younger, so all the stupidness of it is fine.
Yeah, definitely. And, also there's Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. That's one that we've got to do. That's a Wayans Brothers
Okay.
Keenan Ivory Wayans and I think both the younger brothers are in it and a bunch of people. But that is another one that's sort of in this same
Wheelhouse.
Is it a genre? Wheelhouse?
Let's call it wheelhouse.
Niche, whatever you want to call it. So we'll have to get to that. I gotta, if that's not on the list already, I gotta put Don't Be a Menace.
I don't think it is.
We definitely would watch that before next Friday. That's for sure. All right. Well done. And thank you for sitting through Friday and taking notes for us.
It really wasn't bad. Wasn't a bad movie.
Good. It's not Hocus Pocus then.
No, I don't think anything is going to be as, I don't want to say devastating because that's not the right word. Hocus Pocus was just built up as like such a great movie. And so it's got such this huge following and fandom and all of that. And watching it was like, this is garbage.
Check out Hocus Pocus on YouTube. All the things, all the episodes are up there. You can find that one if you go back and check it on the website too, because Naomi wrote up a little bit more about her affinity for the movie.
That's right.
Or lack thereof. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Thought of the Day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's the thought of the day, thought of the day.
So we've been talking a lot about Chat GPT, so I felt like this is very fitting.
All right.
Using Chat GPT is like trying to throw something into a trash can that's really far away. Sometimes it works and saves you time, and other times it fails and it wastes your time.
And you're
you gotta
walking
get
over there, picking it up, walking back away 6 feet so you can shoot it again.
And miss again. Yep.
Excellent. That's for sure.
I thought you would like that one.
Yeah.
Luke, you gonna leave us with a laugh?
I'll do my best. All right. How do you tell the difference between a crocodile and an alligator?
I don't know.
You'll see one later and one once in a while.
That's stupid.
Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon?
Yes, I did. It has no atmosphere.
Great food, no atmosphere. That's
that's terrible.
What do you call a pony with a sore throat?
I don't know.
A little horse.
Come on. So bad.
All right, one more. I'm terrified of elevators. I'm going to start taking steps to avoid them.
There you go. All right.
There you go. That one at least made sense for you.
Yes, it made sense.
All right.
Didn't say I liked it, but it made sense.
All right, that'll do it for episode 112. Thanks for hanging with us again. We will be back for 113. Don't know what we're doing yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we know. How about that?
We'll figure it out.
That's right. Drop your comments. The best nicknames that you know, have known, have made up,
yes,
have owned,
and the stories behind them.
have ever heard of. Can't wait to read those next week. Until then, have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.